What's up guys, Kevin here, and today we're going to be talking about how to improve your credit using credit cards. And this is just the first video of several that I'll be making to talk about how I've improved my credit personally. My credit has gone up over 200 points over the years, and this is one of the methods that I used to get the best bang for your buck and increase your credit the quickest way possible. So I just wanted to share some of those options with you guys so that you can take advantage of this, especially if you're just starting on your credit journey. And this will be something that you can use for the rest of your life to keep your credit as good as possible. So let's go ahead and jump into the details. Now, the first thing, of course, is you're going to need a credit card. There are a lot of different credit card options out there, but if you're just starting out, you're going to want to apply for a secured credit card. This is going to be a little bit easier to qualify for if you have little to no credit history, because this is a card that's going to have a lower credit limit, and they're going to rely on you having certain funds or collateral to secure that credit card. So it's lower risk for the bank, so they can offer it to you, and you can kind of use that over time to build up your credit history. Now, if you have good credit scores or, more credit history, then you should be able to qualify for an unsecured card. This is going to have a higher credit limit, a lot of other better benefits, and overall, that's kind of like the goal of a credit card that you want to qualify for. And the good news is if you've had a secured card for long enough and you've got good credit history and been working well with your bank, sometimes they just offer you an unsecured card to kind of increase your benefits because you have a good relationship with them. So just be patient, and over time, you should definitely be able to work your way up to the unsecured credit card. Now, once you've got your unsecured credit card, you want to get the most out of it. But the biggest thing to remember is that you want to keep your utilization low. All of the credit reporting agencies like Equifax and TransUnion and FICO are focused on keeping that utilization as low as possible. This is for your overall credit across all the credit cards you own, as well as for each individual credit card. Now, the ideal credit utilization is below 10%. So if you've got a $500 credit limit, you want it to be below $50. If you've got a $1,000 credit limit, you want it to be below $100. But you can still get up to around 30% utilization without too big of a hit on your credit score. So again, if you've got a $500 credit limit, you want to keep it below 150, or a $1,000 credit limit, you want to keep it below 300. Now that's as high as I would let it go. Really, you want it below that 10%, but when it gets above 30%, you start seeing a big impact on your score. So that's why I recommend keeping it as low as possible if you plan on actually using the card. Now, the trick that I used is I didn't use my cards at all. I actually applied for a credit card, got everything set up, put it in a drawer, and left it there. And the reason why this works is because as long as your credit utilization is as low as possible, the credit reporting agencies don't actually care about how much you're spending on your credit card. So if it's always $0, it's always going to be at 0% utilization, and you're going to get the biggest benefit on your credit score for that credit card. So that was a method that I used for years. I never got any dings for it. The only risk you might have is some banks don't like that. So they might tell you every once in a while that you need to make a charge in order to keep the account open. But in my experience, that takes several years, like literally 2 or 3 years. They'll say you haven't used your credit card in a while. You need to use it in 90 days or we're going to close your account. So, you go to the gas station, buy a Snickers, and boom, you're good for another 2 or 3 years. But if you don't plan on using your credit card, I think that's a really easy way to make sure you avoid interest, you avoid any missed payments or anything like that. Just get the credit card, put it in a drawer, keep using your cash or whatever you normally use to make your payments, and that way you'll be able to build up your credit without risking any negative marks on your credit history. Now, if you do plan on using your credit card, you can still get it set up to show 0% utilization if you pay it off at the right time. And that is based on when your bank reports how much money is on your card to the credit reporting agencies. Now, a lot of times that is your statement balance. So as long as you make your payment before you get your statement, they'll be able to report $0. But other times it's not based on your statement. Sometimes it's the same date every month. It might be the 1st of the month or the 28th of the month. It really just depends on your bank. So I highly recommend pairing your credit journey with Credit Karma. It's a free website that you can sign up for to monitor your credit. And the cool thing is if you go into your credit details, it shows you when your bank reports how much money is on your credit card. So you can see if that's the same date every month or if it lines up with your payment due date or your statement date, whatever that is. so you know when to make a payment on your credit card. And if you pay it off before that date, then it'll always show 0% utilization. And even if you charge $10,000 to your credit card over the month, they'll still report 0% utilization if you pay it off before that reporting date. And again, no other creditor is going to look at your credit history and try to see a certain balance on your credit cards. Typically, they can't see anything other than your max balance. But if it's always been zero, it's not going to be a negative impact. I have multiple credit cards that I don't use at all, and they still are perfectly good standing on my credit report. Now, the next thing, of course, is your payment history. You have to pay your credit card every month. Again, if you're using your credit card, at least make sure you're making your minimum payment, but even better is to pay it off in full. Now, if you're not using your credit card at all, it's always going to show 100% payments on time because your payment due is always going to be $0. So that's another way to maximize how your credit card is improving your credit score, just by simply making sure you keep that 100% payment history. But, even if you can't pay it in full 1 month, there's an emergency or whatever, at least make sure you schedule that minimum monthly payment. A lot of websites let you set up automatic payments for that minimum monthly. So if you want to pay it in full, you can. But, if something comes up, you have disruption at your job or whatever, you can still make that minimum payment to avoid hurting your credit score. So it is extremely critical to make sure that you at least make the minimum payment every month. The last thing that your credit cards can really help you with is by raising your average credit age. And the reason why credit cards are such a hack here is because you can keep a credit card forever. It's not like a personal loan or an auto loan where eventually you pay it off and the account closes. With your credit card, it's revolving credit, so you can pay it off every month and still keep the account open. And you can think in the future, once you've had your credit card for 5 or 10 or 20 plus years, it's helping raise that average credit age. So even if you apply for a new car loan or a mortgage or anything that you need, it's still going to help keep that average credit age up. So the rule of thumb here is you never really want to cancel a credit card. Keep it open as long as possible. If in the future you plan on not really using it anymore or replacing it with a different one, just tuck it in a drawer, put it away, and if you need to, every couple of years, you can put a charge on it just to keep that account open. But these are 3 ways that you can use a credit card to raise your credit as much as possible, literally without spending $1 if you do it right. This is something that I used again, and it has helped raise my credit significantly. So I highly recommend it to anybody that is looking at improving their credit or just starting out on their credit journey. So yeah, hopefully this helps you guys out. We'll be talking a lot more about credit in the future. This is just the start of our journey. But, if this is something that you're interested in, let me know what your experience has been, how your credit cards have worked in your favor or not, and we can keep the comments going down below. So thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.